Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Video Game Beat. My name is Rob, and this is the new year. And I would like to say the new year is going great, but guess what? It's not. This is the second time I've had to film this video because for some reason, my video literally just stopped recording on me. So this is the second take of this podcast episode. Oh my God. It's going to be okay. We're going to be all right. Okay. We're back. It's 2021, baby. Can it get any worse? Yes, it can. It can actually. I'm positive. Okay, I'm hoping for a good year, and right now I'm really hungry. I'm sorry. I'm so starving right now. But my wife is bringing chicken, and I can't wait. But that's neither here or there. Okay, we are here. New Year 2021. The Video Game Beat, covering the news of the week of January 4th through the 8th. Can I hear an amen? Because we are gonna have a great year. Ambitious Casual is gonna have a great year, and I'm really excited for everything revolving Ambitious Casual and the content that I'll be putting out on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, okay? So before we jump into the video, I want to go over one thing real fast. If you haven't watched my newest video, Hello 2021, I kind of go over a couple things and updates about the channel and all things regarding Ambitious Casual. Go check it out. One of the things I talk about is a new podcast I'm going to be starting with my friends called the XP Podcast. Go and follow it. It's already on podcast services out there. And get ready because we're going to have a new episode coming out soon. Maybe January the 13th? Possibly? I don't know. We recorded the first episode and there was some corruption in the files, and so we might have to scrap it. Maybe? I don't know. But without further ado, let's jump right into the stories. Story number one, guys. We got 6 stories. I was kind of questioning if we're going to have anything worth talking about because when you get out of the holidays and getting into January, stories are really slow. But thankfully, we got some tidbits that we can go over today. So, story number one, Nier Automata's final secret has been found after almost 4 years. That's crazy to think about. 4 years. This comes from Kotaku's Zach Sweezen. He writes, a new secret cheat code has been found in Nier Automata that lets players skip the entire game after only beating the first boss. This new discovery has also been confirmed to be the final secret that the game's developers teased a few years ago. In Nier Automata, once you have unlocked Ending E, you play through the tough arcade shooter experience where you are tasked with destroying the credits of the very game. Once you beat this, you can sacrifice your save data to help the other players beat this ending. This isn't a joke either. Once you agree to give up your data, you lose all your progress. To reach this point takes some time, though, and you have to beat the game multiple times. So, let's set the stage, okay? You're playing Nier Automata. I love that game. I didn't beat it, but I love that game. The gameplay to it is just like anything else. It literally flows between different genres of games, and I loved it. It's awesome. You play this game, you got to play it multiple times. And by the time you get to this certain ending that you unlock called Ending E, you have to, once you beat it, destroy the credits. I don't know if you guys remember playing Super Smash Bros. Brawl, but when you're done, you go and you just start shooting all the credits and you get points and that kind of stuff. This is what they're talking about. So you beat the credits, and once you're done, you agree to give up your data and you lose all your progress. And this is difficult to get to. And this is something that you just don't do easily. You have to work hard to get to this point. And so it's one of those things you're like, dang, bro, you make me work this hard just to give it all up? Yes, they actually do. But we got a cheat code for you guys. This comes from Lance McDonald. He's the one who actually posted the fact that he found it. He writes this: I found a cheat code in Nier Automata that allows you to skip to the last ending immediately after killing the first boss and unlock the bonus modes. And then he goes on and he says that he'll do a full video. So if you want to go check that out, that's by Lance McDonald. Go check it out. That's crazy. And what's even crazier is that the director came out and he confirmed it and his name is Yoko Taro. If you guys don't know, he's the guy who wears the big helmet thing around his head. But he came out and he indeed confirmed. This is what he said: 3 years, 10 months. That's how long it took for someone to finally find the final code in Nier Automata. That's crazy. I really appreciate when the game and the developers actually commit to a secret and don't really give hints at all. Like, hey, you'll figure it out. You get it done. This is 3 years and 10 months in the making. It could have been almost 4 years. They're 2 months away from 4 years. It's almost like with God of War when Cory Barlog kind of was going out on his his interviews after the game was released, he stated that there was one secret that was not found yet, and that was like maybe the week of the game's release when he was talking about all with a lot of press. And I think within that next week, I think within 2 weeks of the game being released, everyone found every single Easter egg in the game, and that kind of just fizzles the fire out because you're kind of like, oh, there's not that nuance or that thing about this game in the back of your mind, like, oh, there's still one more secret out there. No, everyone already found it. Can you imagine being a Nier Automata player and you're like, man, no one still has figured out that last secret, that last cheat code, and it took 3 years and 10 months to figure it out. Like, so good job to Lance McDonald, dude. That is some dedication to actually find a secret like that. So let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of the secret? What do you think of the cheat code? Did you use it? And do you like the game? Let me know. Story number 2, Fortnite Dev Epic Games bought an abandoned mall to turn into its next HQ. This comes from IGN's Matt Kim. He writes, Epic Games has bought an entire mall with plans to turn the unused location into its new headquarters in Cary, North Carolina. In a press release, Epic Games announced that it has purchased a 980,000 square foot and 87-acre Cary Town Center Mall, which will become the new Epic Games campus by 2024. This includes plans to create both office buildings and recreational spaces for long-term use. The development of the new HQ will begin later this year. Isn't that something to think that go when you have a chance, or maybe not right now because COVID, but if you ever get a chance or you remember just standing in the middle of a mall and thinking to yourself, this is someone's entire studio. This is going to be someone's entire studio. Now, I don't know how big this mall is because I've never been there. Like, you can give me numbers, 180,000 square foot and 87 acre. Like, that's cool. I can't register that in my pea brain, okay? But if I think to myself, if I go to a mall that I love or a big mall, I stand there and just think I could own this whole thing as a studio. That's crazy to think about. The mayor of Cary, Harold Weinberg, he said this: we're extremely proud that Epic has chosen to call Cary home for their new global headquarters, and we greatly appreciate the company's recognition of Cary's existing assets as well as the unlimited potential of the area for their growing business. What's interesting about this is that, Epic Games has had so much success. Not only because of Fortnite, they're known for the Unreal Engine and a number of things, but of course we can all agree that Fortnite's what really just boosted Epic Games to a whole nother tier. And because of its success, you would think to yourself, man, Epic Games must have so much dough, bro. They must have so much dough. They can go and make something brand new. But I got to give them props for actually going out and using already existing structure and turning that into something else. You can go as far as saying like, okay, well, they have the money and they just make your own space. But it's also that thing that's commendable to think that, you know what, let's use this space. Let's not let it just become this thing that's going to die off in this architecture that might not ever become a thing ever again, but utilizing it and then making it something better or making it our own. And so there's something really cool about that I actually find commendable and very honorable. And for Epic Games to even go as far as doing that, they got money. They could do something else, but they're going to turn this entire space into their own project, and along with the other things like recreational spaces and that kind of stuff. So let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of Epic Games buying out a mall? And do you think they should have gone with the mall, or do you think they should have just made their own entire HQ on their own, starting from scratch? Let me know. Story number 3, Nintendo acquires longtime partner Next Level Games, the team behind Luigi's Mansion 3. This comes from GameSpot's Eddie Maccook. After working with Next Level Games on numerous projects in the Luigi's Mansion and Mario Strikers franchises, among others, Nintendo has announced it will acquire the studio. Nintendo will buy 100% of the outstanding shares of the Vancouver, Canada-based developer, and as such, Next Level Games will become a wholly owned subsidiary of Nintendo. They announced and said, a number of owner-directors recently determined that the time is right for them to sell their shares, and NLG, Next Level Games, therefore began exploring potential sale transactions. It's kind of interesting to think that when this story was released, I kind of had to stop and think to myself, Nintendo is acquiring studios? Like, I thought that I never, like, you don't ever think of Nintendo in that way. When you think of PlayStation, you think of Naughty Dog, you think of Santa Monica, you think of Insomniac, which was newly acquired. And then when you think of Xbox, you think of 343, you think of Obsidian, you think of the new acquisition of Bethesda and that kind of stuff. But when you think of Nintendo, you don't necessarily think of studios. You kind of feel like when you get a Nintendo game, it just comes from this magical Nintendo building that just pops out and then it's just Nintendo. Which is not true. Obviously, they have their studios. One of them that you can think off the top of your head is Retro Studios, who's known for making a lot of side scrollers, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and a number of things. And so to see this story, I was kind of like, "What? Nintendo's acquiring a studio? That's pretty weird and cool at the same time." But along with that, makes you question a couple things. With them acquiring Next Level Games, what does that mean for the studio? Now, they did come out and say that not much is going to be changing in regards to the development cycles and that kind of stuff with that studio. They're just going to be completely owned by Nintendo themselves. But here's the thing. The newest game that we got from them was Luigi's Mansion 3. Other than that, they're known for a couple of other things. One of them being Mario Strikers for the GameCube and for the Wii, along with Punch-Out, which I absolutely love Punch-Out. And we don't talk about it, Metroid Prime Federation Force for the 3DS. Get that out of here. But what does this mean? Do we have a new game coming on the horizon? Luigi's Mansion 4? I don't think so. But what we could think is, are they going to go and maybe make another Mario Strikers? That would be awesome. I love Mario Strikers. That's like the only Nintendo game where we actually get some pure attitude from these guys. Like, they seem like they really want to kill each other in Mario Strikers. And it's like, Mario, you're just playing soccer. And he's like, Mario, kill Bowser. But other than that, I would love to see another Punch-Out. It's been 12 years since the last Punch-Out. And I love Punch-Out a lot. So I would love to see a Punch-Out come to the Switch. Or maybe they're working on Mario Strikers for the Switch or Switch Pro. Next story, PS4 Pro and most other models discontinued in Japan. This comes from Video Games Chronicle Andy Robinson. He writes, as reported by Japanese publication Game Watch, the only last-gen console Sony will continue to sell in Japan is the standard jet black 500GB PlayStation 4 Slim model. All other PS4 consoles will disappear once current stock is sold, the publication reports, and SIE, Sony Interactive Entertainment, will divert production to PS5. What's interesting about this is that the time has come. It's the end of the PS4. Like, either that's a good thing, that's a bad thing, I don't know. To me, I find that is a very, very good thing. And here's the reason why. He kind of breaks it down a bit. He says, at $400 right now, the PS4 Pro is $400. It is the same price as the entry-level PS5 Digital Edition, which is $100 cheaper than the disc-based PS5. So it doesn't make sense for Sony to be focusing on bringing up the stock of the PS5 along with making and continue making PS4s, and then for a consumer to walk into a store and for the consumer to see a PS4 Pro for $400 and a PS5 for $400. That doesn't make any sense. And especially the fact that if they were to drop the price of the PS4 Pro, well, then you have to stop and think to yourself, is there really that much of a difference between the two consoles? Now, if you haven't used it, you could ask yourself that question and be like, you know what, I'm just going to go with the PS4 Pro because the games that they're making are still coming out for the console. And I can understand that argument. Now, as someone who does have one, there is a difference. There is a huge difference between both consoles. But they don't want to have that mixed messaging going on. So might as well get rid of the PS4 Pro and other models. Keep only the PS4 Slim. That way you have that big gap between last gen and next gen, because a PS4 Slim is not the PS4 Pro. It is the previous iteration before it, which is not as powerful and most definitely not as powerful as a PS5. So keep those two going, run out of stock, and make all your focus on the PS5 to get that stock up. Guys, it's hard to find one. I have friends that are trying to find PS5s. I know people who are trying to buy PS5s, and those dang scalpers will keep going out there, buying them, snatching them, using bots, and selling them at a much higher markup, 3 times the price. I've gotten in arguments with a lot of scalpers recently because of just the ridiculousness of wanting to sell you a PS5 at $1,500 when the original price is $500. Like, one, get over yourself, but two, this is going to help out not only Sony in the long run of actually, making more consoles, making more money, but having that goodwill with the consumer as well. So let me know in the comments down below. Are you sad to actually see last gen kind of start fading away? Or are you happy to see what's on the horizon for all things PS5? Let me know in the comments down below. Story number 5, Xbox Series X survey asks if you want a PS5 DualSense feature in the Xbox controllers. Because from Tech Radar's Adam Justico. He writes, an Xbox console experience survey has gone out to consumers who purchased either the Xbox Series X or S and reveals some potentially exciting news as to the company's future plans for the systems. Now, I want to let this be known. I do have a Series X. I did not receive this survey. I've been kind of keeping an eye out to see if I get it, but they did write on the article as to what are some of the questions or the big questions that are in talks right now. And that being this, do you feel that whether the Xbox Series X feels next gen enough? And Microsoft asks whether you are aware of the features on PlayStation controllers and that you wish they were on Xbox controllers. These are interesting questions just because of the fact that there's been talks in regards to the new DualSense controller. I have the PS5 and the DualSense controller really makes a big difference in your gameplay. At first you think to yourself, the adaptive triggers, the haptic feedback, that all seems like just gimmicks to a new console just to kind of give you that little bit of like, oh, I'll get it because of the cool features. But it actually brings a difference in depth to your gameplay, especially when you're playing something like Asher's Playroom. And that's it. But with that being said, it really does make you feel like, as a gamer, there is something very different between this controller and this controller, the Xbox Series X controller. The only thing that's different is the D-pad. And with that, it makes this feel a little less superior compared to this one, because this one feels like, which I'm talking about the DualSense for the listeners, the DualSense feels like so much more futuristic and so much more iterative compared to previous gen, which is the PS4s. And it makes you stop and think to yourself, just right off the bat, by using the controls, do you feel like you're getting a next gen experience? I do. When I play on the on the Xbox Series X, I kind of wish there were some haptic feedbacks. I kind of wish that there were some adaptive triggers going on. And this is what they want to know with the consumers. They want to know if the consumers feel like they're actually getting what they really want. Are they actually getting that next gen experience? The UI, the OS that is being utilized in the Series X, is the same OS that is being used in the previous one, or the same UI. It all looks the same. The PS5's UI is very different from the PS4. So you kind of got that feeling the moment you booted up the PS5. You're like, oh, this is a new toy. This is a new piece of hardware. Everything is new about it. And the thing with the Series X is you boot it up and you're like, I'm comfortable with this. The only thing that's different is just the graphics and how strong the console is. And not saying that's not bad. Not saying that's not a good thing. It is a good thing. But as just a normal consumer, to those that just the day-to-day don't really play all that much, you kind of don't see it right there and then. You have it, but you don't see it, or you don't feel it necessarily. So that's been going around right now in regards to all that kind of stuff. The ending of the article says Microsoft also asked what users think of the console's home screen UI, which underwent many iterations during the Xbox One's lifetime, but remains largely unchanged for the Xbox Series X and S release. Guys, let me know in the comments, or hit me up on Twitter. Are you happy with your Series X and your Series S? Are you cool with the controller being kind of the same? Or do you wish you had some of the features that the PS5 controller had? Let me know. Comments down below. And guys, don't worry, we're on the last story today. Story number 6. This comes from IGN's Matt Kim. Twitch removes PogChamp emote following tweets by Gootecks. The article reads, Twitch has announced that it will remove the popular PogChamp emote from its service following a tweet made by Ryan Gootecks Gutierrez, whom the emote is based on, which encourage further violence. I want my listeners to know I'm using air quotes because that's what they use. Encourage further violence following today's insurgency on Capitol Hill. Not going to go too much into it, but the week of this recording, we saw a group of protesters go and actually break in, go and get into the White House, get into Capitol Hill and overtake it. And it just complete ridiculousness all through and through. But with that, Gutierrez had a tweet and a statement about the events of what happened, and it appeared to call for further violence during the takeover. This is what he wrote. Will there be civil unrest for the woman who was executed inside the Capitol today, or will the hashtag MAGA martyr die in vain? Gutierrez tweeted. Now, this is in regards to the woman that died during the protest and the raid on Capitol Hill. And this was his, response to his question to everything that was going on. Now, in a statement to IGN from a Twitch spokesperson, the company announced, we made the decision to remove the PogChamp emote following the statement from the face of the emote, encouraging further violence after what took place in the Capitol today. Twitch added, "We want the sentiment and use of Pog to live on. Its meaning is much bigger than the person depicted or image itself, and it has a big place in Twitch culture. However, we can't in good conscience continue to enable the use of the image. We will work with the community to design a new emote for the most hype moments on Twitch." Now, if you are not if you're not really in the world of Twitch and that kind of stuff, Pog, Poggers, PogChamp, that kind of stuff, is just kind of like an expression of like, oh my gosh, look what happened. Look what the craziness, excitement, all that kind of stuff. That's what the face is depicting. It is a face of Ryan Gootecks Gutierrez, his face being like, whoa, because something crazy or like that happened in the game or what you're watching and that kind of stuff. The Twitch felt the need to remove him from PogChamp so that way there wasn't that conflict of users either Twitch streaming or users who utilize the platform as viewers to be seeing this image being thrown up because it incites violence based off of what majority of the social media and people talking about regarding Gutierrez and that kind of stuff. So they removed it, but they do not want him to be what defines Pog. They want to take the time to actually find a new face, a new solution to PogChamp. They want to keep PogChamp alive. And in an update that happened today, the day of this recording that I'm filming, this came out from again on IGN from Matt Kim. Sean Plott, the esports commentator known as Day9, suggested that Twitch should create a database of streamers, and whenever someone types PogChamp, Twitch should display one of those faces at random. And with that suggestion, Twitch seemed to agree with the idea, tweeting, "You know what? In the spirit of figuring out 2021 together, let's just roll with it for now." The company added, "Get ready for a new PogChamp every 24 hours starting today." So I guess when you can go every 24 hours, they're adding a new face to the database. And when you type out PogChamp, the emote that'll pop up is just going to be a random new face that represents PogChamp. What's interesting is that scene when this story was breaking on the internet, seeing the community of Twitch come together and being like, hey, let's put this new face. Let's put this new face. And I think for Twitch, it kind of saves them a bit for them going the route of like, you know what? We're just going to have a database. You spam what you want, and then a random face will pop up. Just so that way, if anything happens again with an individual that they want to separate themselves from, it's not necessarily affecting the whole brand of PogChamp. It's just a face that you take away from a database and then it's gone because you have a whole slew of other faces that you can bring in to take over as the emote itself. So it's interesting. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of this story? Is Twitch kind of just giving in to what people want? Do you feel like they're just doing this just to do it? Or do you agree with them in their stance of wanting to remove Gutierrez as the face of PogChamp and bringing in a whole new slew of streamers to portray the face of Poggers? So let me know in the comments down below, guys. And that is it for this video of the Video Game Beat, January 4th through the 8th. Thanks for watching this video, guys. It's a bit quicker, it's a bit snappier than the last one and the ones before, because I just want to make this a bit more quicker and I want to respect y'all's time. I don't want y'all to have to sit and just listen to my voice speak for an entire hour and just be boring and blah blah blah. So this is a new set on how this video will be working out. If you guys liked it, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, comment down below. I want to have a dialogue with you guys. I want to talk with you guys, all things video games and the stories that we went over today. If you guys want to keep up with all things news related of the Ambitious Casual, go to Twitter, twitter.com/ambitiouscasual, where you can keep up to date to all things of when new videos are coming out and when I start streaming on Twitch, which is every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, twitch.tv/ambitiouscasual. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Keep playing those games.